Well, let's take you back to the story that we told you earlier about the WAFU Under-17 Championship, where Eaglets, by dint of fortune, qualified for the semi-finals of the ongoing WAFU Championship. Let me bring in Brownson Owana, sports analyst, to help us look at the chances of the Golden Eaglets reaching the final of the competition. Well, Brownson, the Eaglets lost 1-0 to Cote d'Ivoire in the opening Group B match. They drew 1-1 with Ghana, almost at the brink of elimination. Do you think that this team looks good enough to get through to the final?
Honestly, Kichiko, I must tell you that Nigerian football is points right now, and it's unfortunate that most people shy away from talking about it, and even some journalists, have turned blind eyes. Now, Golden Eaglets is just one of the numerous problems we have in our football. For instance, before I come to Golden Eaglets, in 2020, the Super Eagles of Nigeria could not win a game, even the lowest of lowest ranked team in Africa. We couldn't win a game, even friendly games with some European opponents that you think the Super Eagles would come out and do well. We didn't. Now, we also got Under-20 last year in some competition under Ladamboso. They performed very poorly. And now we have Under-17 in a WAFU tournament. WAFU tournament that you think the Golden Eaglets, having dominated the world, they've won the World Championship 5 times. You think they'll take all the boys to the cleaners and get the important result. We were depending on Cote d'Ivoire to qualify. This is the worst we have seen at football under that Magic Fini. And it should be a state of emergency on our football if we should be struggling on the WAFU tournament on the backs of what the team have gone through in the previous year. So it's a very rough time for our football. It's a shame that we have to qualify under such circumstances.
All right, Brownson. Well, Burkina Faso, our next opponent, tops Group A, and they have demonstrated that they are no pushovers at all. Do you think that they have any weaknesses at all that the Eaglets can explore?
I was able to see the Golden Eaglets second game, and really that team has got absolutely nothing. The attack is shambolic. The midfield, sometimes they're not very coordinated. So I think the Burkina Faso boys, of course, both young teams, but they're quite fast, and they're quite pacey, and they've also got a very formidable defense. I think that might be a plus for them. For the Golden Eaglets, I particularly want them to come back home and see how we can re-strategize. It's not about going for tournaments and trying to push, grind out results. No. I think it's about football development in Nigeria. So for the Golden Eaglets, right now they don't even have anything in that team. I think Burkina Faso will have a swift run over the Golden Eaglets. So overall, I think our football, we should grow our football. We should develop football. We should have other competitions that will help discover talent, not handpicked by some certain means. So personally, I want Golden Eaglets to come back home and see how we can make our football better.
All right, Brownson. Finally, very quickly. All right, very quickly. What changes would you like to see to ensure that the Eaglets get to the final of the championship?
Yes. Okay. So the coach needs to do more in the midfield. They have to start springing up, link-up passes. Our link-up play is very poor. We need players that can hold up the ball, have a very good vision, and the attackers also have to, learn a sense of good positioning. Because if your midfielders have the ball and you're not there to, get it, you're not well positioned so that they can spring those deadly passes to you, and then you put the ball in the back of the net, it will just be, same stories. So I think the midfield should be more coordinated. Midfield is always the engine room of any team, and the midfield that I saw in the last game wasn't very encouraging. So I think the midfield should be more coordinated. Our strikers should be clinical in front of posts. We should have guys, if we create like 5 chances, we should be able to take 2 of those chances, not 5 and convert 0. So our conversion rate should be very, very high if we must get to the final of this tournament. Don't forget that this tournament is also a qualifier to the African Under-17 Championship, as well as the World Cup, which, of course, the last tournament will be like the qualifying series too.
All right, Brownson Owana, thank you very much indeed for your time.
It's a pleasure, Ike.